Yeah, it's unprecedented. This long day of politicking reaching a crescendo with more than 10,000 people expected to attend Donald Trump's rally at the Times Union Center.
We've got you covered. Coley Holick and Tori Wells are at the TU Center right now. Kimberly Howard covered John Kasich's visit to Albany and Troy.
And Hubert Wiggins covered the Bernie Sanders rally at the Armory in Albany. And we're going to start
Howard was there for the governor's address. Kimberly?
Hi, Ann. You know, Governor Kasich's tone was much more reserved than what we've seen from some of the other candidates. He walked around and looked at 350 or so people who filled the gymnasium in the eye as he answered questions. The whole event was a town hall format, so that's probably why we saw that more reserved tone from Governor Kasich. This wasn't a stump speech. As I said, people could ask questions, and among the questions, people wanted to know his positions on health care, Social Security, Common Core, foreign affairs, and the economy. Kasich touting his record as a two-term governor of Ohio, where he says he led the state from $8 billion in the red to $2 billion in the black. Now, before all this, Kasich met with Republicans in both the Assembly and the Senate. That was behind closed doors, but he also spent some time with reporters at the Capitol, where I asked him directly why he stayed in the race. He has an extremely low delegate count, only winning his home state of Ohio in the primary so far. This was his response.
I think we have a good chance of having a united Republican Party with nominees who are going to get destroyed in the fall election. You see, because at the end of the day, I'm the only one that consistently beats Hillary Clinton and the only one with a record and experience to actually run this country.
Kasich also pointing to his experience as a long-term member of Congress, U.S. Congress, before he headed to another event in Saratoga Springs. And that event is actually causing some traffic delays, some changes in traffic patterns. Take a look right now at what we have going on there. Parking is restricted on Maple Avenue from Lake Avenue to the area just north of the city center where Kasich is set to speak. Ellsworth Jones Place is also closed. That will be in effect until 8 tonight. We'll be back with much more from John Kasich in about a half an hour, but for now, Ann, we'll
happening right now. The third event of the day is beginning for Donald Trump's chief rival in New York. Ohio Governor John Kasich is holding a town hall event at the Saratoga Springs City Center. In response, Maple Avenue will be closed from Lake Avenue to the city center, and Ellsworth Jones Place is closed for the length of the event. Governor Kasich was in Albany earlier today and also held an event in North Greenbush at LaSalle High School. Kimberly Howard has been following the governor throughout the day, and we want to take you live to the high school right now where Kimberly has more. Kimberly?
Yeah, hi, Ann. This event here in North Greenbush, much smaller and calmer than some of the other events that some of the other candidates are holding. Only about 350 people crowded the gymnasium here at the LaSalle Institute. And a lot of them got to ask the governor questions. They were all seated during this town hall style meeting, asking the governor about some of his specific views on health care, Social Security, Common Core, foreign affairs, and the economy. Kasich touting his record as the governor of Ohio, where he says he led the state from an $8 billion deficit to about $2 billion in the black. Now, before all this, Kasich met with Republicans in both the Assembly and the Senate. That was behind closed doors, but he also spent some time with reporters at the Capitol, where he alluded to Ted Cruz's controversial comment about, quote, New York values. Take a listen to what Kasich makes of New York values.
It's excitement, it's innovation, it's fun, it's big-time living, and I'm really excited because tonight my wife and my two daughters are going to be headed in to do a town hall meeting.
And Kasich also talked about religious freedom laws in places like North Carolina, saying that he does believe in traditional marriage, but he does not believe in discrimination, saying that a lot of the uproar that's being caused in some of these states, he says that these people just need to let it go. So a lot of ground here was covered in North Greenbush. Ann?
Now, Kimberly, I know you asked Kasich at the Capitol why he hasn't dropped considering his low delegate count. What was his response?
Yeah, well, he talked about his record, saying that he has a lot of experience. He also said that he's run on a platform that he believes a platform of unity, and that, you know, a lot of people had said that if he did drop out, it would have been better, would have helped unite the Republican Party. He says that that's not true, that he believes that his message of unity can actually help unite what's become sort of a fractured Republican Party and all this. So some interesting comments. He also pointed to several polls saying that nationally he is the one that could best defeat Hillary Clinton in the general election as compared to both Donald Trump and to Ted Cruz. So definitely some interesting comments that came out of the Capitol. We'll have much more of those coming up in about a half an hour. But for now, we're live in North Greenbush. Kimberly Howard, CBS 6 News.
Thank you, Kimberly. And on the other side of the aisle, Democratic candidate Bernie Sanders brought the burn to Washington Avenue, right at the Armory.
Going on for John Kasich. Only about 350 people crowded the gymnasium here at the high school, and a lot of them got to ask the Ohio governor questions, specific questions about his policies on health care, Social Security, Common Core, foreign affairs, and the economy. Kasich touting his record as the governor of Ohio, where he says he led the state out of an $8 billion deficit, boosting the state up to $2 billion in the black. Now, before all this, Kasich met with Republicans in both the Assembly and the Senate. That was behind closed doors. But he also spent some time with reporters at the Capitol, where he shared some of his thoughts about education. Take a listen to what he had to say.
That as we educate our people, both at K through 12, the community college and higher education, that we're actually educating them for jobs that exist, and that in the course of doing that, we're giving them the skills so that they have value.
I also pressed the Ohio governor about staying in the race when his delegate count remains so low, and when members of his own party have urged him to drop out so the party can unify behind a different candidate. Here's what he had to say to that.
So what we really need to do is get these people, these critics, to get behind me and get their people to drop out so we can actually beat Hillary Clinton. Thank you all.
Kasich then citing several polls, national polls, that he is the best candidate to defeat Hillary Clinton in the general election come November. But interestingly, Bernie Sanders had something similar to say, saying that he's the best candidate, Democratic candidate overall, better than Hillary Clinton. Now, Bernie Sanders did address a crowd of 4,000 at the Armory. He also spoke one-on-one with my colleague Hubert Wiggins. Hubert, tell us a little bit about what Bernie Sanders has had to say.